What an episode. While it had its flaws, like everything does, it was such a joy seeing Darth Vader back in live action after so long. The entire episode had tension, and there were multiple moments that caught me by surprise, like Freck and Tala not being who I thought they were. I had to suspend logic for a few moments, like how Tala got to Obi-Wan without encountering Reva, or how Reva got ahead of Leia, but my confusion didn't linger for long. The camera motion took me out of a few moments, but I thought that the overall editing for this episode was a big improvement compared to the first two. Everything was smoother, and the action was much more intense and felt realistic, compared to the slow and drawn-out examples from previous episodes. Something that I've really liked seeing through the series so far is how different Leia and Obi-Wan are. Obi-Wan has lost all hope after Mustafar, and he knows what the Empire is really like. As such, he is hesitant to trust anyone. As soon as he gets to the coordinates and no one is there, he immediately thinks that it was all lies instead of choosing to wait or search around. Leia, on the other hand, is still young and full of her childish optimism. We can see hints and teases of her characteristics that will make her who she is down the line. One great tease was her asking Tala about helping people by being an undercover agent in the Empire, hinting at Leia down the line when she is a member of the Rebel Alliance, but to the public is just an Imperial senator. The uncle-niece relationship between the two of them has also been fun to watch grow, and it adds a completely new layer of context to A New Hope. After the trailers, I had very much expected Indira Varma's character to be just another Imperial officer, but I'm so glad that they went the direction that they did. Both Tala and Haja are very similar characters, both people who want to make up for the mistakes that they've made and help people, and they both work very well in the series. There's no need for a special Imperial officer in a series with Vader and the Inquisitors, but an officer who regrets joining the Empire but has decided to make the most of it by helping people escape. That's a unique character that can bring back hope to a broken Obi-Wan. I also liked the small teases about the other Force sensitives that they've helped, with them also mentioning Quinlan Vos by name, which I was very excited about. It's a sign that they're thinking about him, so we may eventually get to see where he's at after the fall of the Republic. I honestly can't think of any critique of Vader in this episode. I loved the way he looked, and the flow of his cape was timed perfectly in the moments. Both sequences of him suiting up in the armor and the probe droids being sent out were very satisfying in the way they were shot, and I'm glad that they had James Earl Jones return to do the voice. There were some fantastic shots of Vader, like the fire reflecting in his eyes, or the lowered shot that showed him towering in the frame. And having him force Obi-Wan to burn was absolutely brutal and unexpected, and yet I couldn't take my eyes away from the screen. I could feel the anger and hatred emanating from him every time he was on the screen. He constantly seemed in control, overpowering Obi-Wan during the lightsaber duel, which is completely accurate given where both characters are right now, and sometimes it even seemed like he was toying with him. It even seemed that he let Obi-Wan get away at the end. He could have easily stopped the droid from picking Obi-Wan up, and yet he just stood there, watching. I know that Moses Ingram has undeservingly gotten a lot of hate for her character, and while only some of this is due to the actual character and not what she looks like, I found myself really liking Reva. She's a very different kind of Inquisitor from what we've seen. She's not as calculating or menacing, but she's just full of anger and hatred and lets it out like a loose cannon, doing whatever she can to move up the ranks. I'm not a huge fan of how the fifth brother has been portrayed in the series, but the back and forth between him and Reva makes the side of the story much more exciting. I'm disappointed that the third Inquisitor has kind of been left by the wayside, with us not even getting a name or any details about her. She seems to just be taking up space in any Inquisitor scene. The communication between Reva and Vader also made it seem like the Grand Inquisitor was very much dead. Even though that we know he survives to become a major villain in the Rebels series, I would very much like confirmation about his survival, both for myself and to quiet anyone complaining about retconning. I also assume that since we know Obi-Wan makes his way to Fortress Inquisitorius on Nur at some point from the trailer, and Reva now has Leia, that will be the focus of the next episode, with Obi-Wan attempting to free Leia from the Inquisitors. Darth Vader returns and makes his presence known quickly in a gripping episode that ends in disaster for Kenobi, earning a rating of 9 out of 10. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on social media, and comment down below what content you'd like to see in the future. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember,
the Force will be with you, always.